What is up, my fellow net dwellers? Couch Band here, the teddy bear teaching you how to mod while putting his foot in his mouth every other video. And today, I'm going to be teaching you some additional ways to mod Elden Ring. So I went over basically UXM, and UXM is a little hit and miss these days just due to the fact that it's popping off the Discord. It's not actually been officially released on most pages, and there are some better ways of modding it that have become available. I'm going to walk you through a total of 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm going to walk you through a total of 4 different ways to mod this game. Let's go and jump right into it. Alright, so our first method up is by far the simplest, easiest, and most basic. For this, I'm going to be using the Grand Merchant Simple. Why am I using this? Because it comes as just a regulation bin file. And regulation bin file modding is super easy. What do I mean by it's super easy? Close. Library. Elden Ring. Manage. Browse. We come into Elden Ring Modded. Game. All we've got to do is go into our simple mod. Copy the bin file here. Paste it in here. Now the game has been modded. We just need to make sure that we're not going to get flagged for cheating, at which point we go ahead and just grab the Elden Ring offline launcher, go ahead and pop it in the folder as well. Send a shortcut to our desktop. And now if we go ahead and launch this, or run anyway, we're going to kick into the game and our mod's going to be loaded. This version of Elden Ring's the craft item version. So basically all the stuff's inside of your craft bag. So let's go ahead and just power through real quick. Load one of my characters that actually is got their craft item stuff. And if we go into craft items, we successfully mod the game. That's simple. So go in here, item crafting, voila, we've got everything. So that's method number 1. On to method number 2. There is the DLL mod engine. It's known as Elden Ring Mod Loader. Is this guy right here. And what this does is lets you automatically load DLLs. Now, as far as what DLL stands for, is Dynamic Link Library, which is just a fancy term for saying it is a code library, which means this is designed to load code items, programming changes, alterations via code, which means this method of loading stuff is really terrible when it comes to loading cosmetic changes, or at least it's not the most ideal. Code, models, they normally kind of go together, but they're definitely 2 different areas as far as the game's concerned. So let's go ahead and mod it using this real quick. It's as simple as we come into here, we grab these items here. We just drag and drop it over into our Elden Ring modded. Now, if we go into the mods folder here, we can go ahead and grab some INI files. For INI files, I'm going to be using pause game and item randomiser. Which we're actually going to have to copy this in 2 locations, but that's okay. Doop, doop, doop. Then we're just going to snag the DLL here and put that over into the mods folder. And let's go ahead and run via our anti-cheat again. Same deal, we're just going to load that exact same character. And technically at this point we've combined Grand Merchant Simple, Pause Game, and Item Randomizer. And if it worked, I should be able to trigger a fight and pause the game and have it stop. Here's our target. And yeah, so pause game's working, so the mod engine is working correctly. All right, let's move on to the next method. Next up, we've got Yapped. Yapped is basically a way of injecting different parameters or modifying the parameters inside of the bin files themselves. So you can just go click here on releases and go ahead and just snag the Yapped2.0 zip. Should start the automatic download. Once downloaded, go ahead and just copy the contents out. New folder, Yapped. Doop, doop, doop. And toss them in there. Okay, now that we've got this done, let's go ahead and we're going to snag our route to our modded Elden Ring regulation bin. We need this because we're essentially going to be combining our mod with our existing already modded regulation bin. So this will just be modifying the parameters and putting it on top of a regulation bin. So this is actually a way of combining some non-Yapped mods with Yapped mods to be able to give you kind of what you're after. So we're going to go ahead and open. You paste your location, you go ahead and hit enter here. It'll route to it. You're going to select your regulation bin file. Then you just click open. Once you've done that, go ahead and go into here, and we're going to go into the projects, example mods, CSV, Elden Ring. And we've already got some items in here, but we're not going to worry about those. We're going to go ahead and go into the unlock summons mod. We're going to grab the Buddy Stone param. We're going to copy that and paste it into this ER CSV file location. Now inside of our actual Yapped, we're going to find the Buddy Stone. There's the Buddy Stone parameter. We're going to click on data and we're going to click import data. And it'll just import those data and import the data from this CSV and set it. And that way those modifications are actually now present in the game. Let's go ahead and run the game real quick and make sure it worked. Which, basically what this was supposed to do is unlock Spirit Ashes where you can significantly expand where you can summon spirits. No need to rush to summon spirits again, is the wording behind it. So we should have more areas where we can summon spirits. We're going to go ahead and give that a whirl. You have no idea how long that took, but I finally got to the point where I should be able to actually test. Go ahead and give it a whirl and see what we can do. So we got the gravestone active, which means I can spawn guys. So let's go ahead and spawn the Landale soldiers. Now let's go down here and piss some people off and get them killed. Now, supposedly what should happen is I can't use the summon again on the same day without resting. Which is why we need this guy to die. Which, there he goes. So currently I can't summon, but I'm also not in a spot where I would be able to summon normally. But if things work out properly, I should be able to come right up here and trigger the summon for this area instead. And summon my Landale soldiers again. So there you go. That mod's functioning. Hooray, we were able to at least prove... What was I proving again? I was proving that... Yappa, I think is the right name. What do you think? Odds are I'm wrong? I'd go fairly high. Definitely go high. Yapped. So that's how Yapped works. So now we're at 3 done. The last one is probably how you should just mod the game from now on. That is the new version of ModEngine, which handles Elden Ring. That's right. We've actually got the ability to use ModEngine2 in Elden Ring. So you just click Assets, ModEngine2, and we're going to go ahead and download it. Then we just copy this to our desktop. And we're actually not going to do the simple version of Grand Merchant. We're going to do the standard version. So we're going to come in here, and we've got the mod folder. We're going to go ahead and grab the Penetrator mod, which is going to be our other mod that we use. And we're going to drop it into the mod folder. While we're at it, we're going to now add a new folder, and we're going to call this one Grand Merchant. We're going to grab everything from this Grand Merchant folder here, copy it, paste it in the Grand Merchant folder we created instead of the mods folder. And now this is the big part. We're going to right-click, and we're going to open the toml. I'm opening with Visual Studio Code. Pick your text editor of choice. So by default, this is going to be loading the default mod inside of there, which is the Penetrator. But we also need it to load another mod. So we're just going to do comma, enter. We're going to basically copy this line above, and we're just going to modify the name of this to be Grand Merchant. Grand Merchant. And then we need to make sure we spell the folder name right, which is also Grand Merchant. And then we're going to save this. After we've done all that, this is not going to use my other mod location. So pause menu is not going to function. Those other DLLs aren't going to function. Item randomizer won't function. None of that's going to work. Oh, I wonder if that's why that person never loaded it. Anyways, forget about that. Instead, if we run the Elden Ring bat here, it'll just kick off the primary Elden Ring and use that as far as the files go. So you don't have to create a backup. You don't have to create a separate location. This will just inject and launch Elden Ring like normal. But it does it using the ModEngine stuff, and it'll inject the ModEngine stuff into it. So, we're in offline still, so perfectly fine there. Let's go ahead and load. We're going to load this character here. And test number 1, we just need to prove that pausing isn't working anymore. Pausing's no longer working. Okay. Now we need to go test out some other stuff. So let's go ahead and go to this location here, because we need to confirm that we have access to the modified Grand Merchant, which basically, instead, the standard merchant, I was needing you to spawn so badly. Alright. Finally unlock the summon ability the normal way. Anyways, let's go to Grand Merchant. We've got browse cut content and browse inventory, and there's our full slew of weapons, so Grand Merchant's functioning as desired. We need specifically the Greatsword. Greatsword, Greatsword. Claymore, Bastard, Iron, Greatsword. There's a lot of Greatswords. I don't know which one it is, so we'll just get them all. It's probably just this generic greatsword right here, in all honesty. So let's go ahead and equip just the one greatsword. Just greatsword, greatsword. Where are you? Here it is. And if this mod worked right, yep, there we go. We have the Penetrator from Saints Row 3 available to use as a weapon. So that is how ModEngine works. It is probably going to be how you go about modding Obviously, the links for ModEngine, the links for the links for ModEngine2, the links for ModEngine for the DLLs, the links for Yapped, the links for, I think that's all the methods I covered, are all going to be down in the description, as well as the links for the mods that I demoed today. Anyways, this was Couch Band. You guys all have a good night, a great tomorrow, and an amazing rest of the week. I'll see you next time.